are no slides, just a couple here and there. And I plan to keep this very interactive. However, I will understand if the videos are off, but you please can unmute and speak to me because I am not going to talk. I am going to ask a lot of questions today to all of you. Thank you. All right. So, what is our understanding of inner peace? I'm also open to read the responses in chat. You can chat in your responses if unmuting and talking isn't possible. Let us understand what is inner peace. When we are talking about inner peace, let us understand and establish the context well before we proceed. Anybody?
A quiet mind.
A quiet mind, all right. It reminds me of a story I told you all last time of the pond and the ripples. Remember?
Yes.
Anybody else? The chat response window is also open. I don't see any. Able to access new things, all right. Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay.
Next we have next I have somebody automatically. Okay, you don't have to.
Is she talking to me? I'm not able to understand. I've muted her. Being one with oneself. Okay. Yes. All right. So basically, having a quiet mind, being able to accept myself the way I am with all the pleasant, and I'm very glad that none of us have said having a positive mindset or being happy because that's not possible all the time, right? Also, to take new decisions when you are happy, you are peaceful. Yes, we are happy and we are peaceful, but happiness is not the only state when you can achieve inner peace. And hence the question, what is inner peace? Inner peace is being able to remain in the present, like somebody has written already on the chat window, being one with being with oneself, being comfortable in the company of myself, not having a lot of noise or anxiety when I sit by myself, able to access new things, explore new stuff, open with an open mind, of course. So, openness to situations and to be able to accept what is happy, sad, good, bad, ugly, unfair, fair, you know, all of those things as just accept it. Now, when I say accept it does not mean that you can remain unruffled by what is happening around you, right? Someone may be going through some kind of an illness or a condition. Someone might be worried for their children's well being. Someone might be worried for their kids' jobs. Job insecurity is a big thing these days. But we cannot be unruffled by these things. These will have an impact on all of us and the lives that we lead, including our mental status, emotional well being. But what is inner peace is to be able to accept all of this, to be able to embrace the good, bad, and the ugly, and to also have faith and an understanding that this too shall pass, that change is the only constant and nothing is permanent, right? So, having established what is inner peace, I will go about asking a few questions to you all, and then we tie it in together at the end of the session. Okay, so this is my first activity. Can I know what is the average age of participants here, just roughly?
Difficult. I am 63.
Okay,
My
so most of
wife
us
is
are above 50.
50, above 50, I guess. Yeah.
Above 50, all right. So we've dealt with or we've lived about 5 to 6 minimum decades of life, correct? Now, my first activity is list out one thing from each decade of your life one thing from each decade of your life that you are happy about or proud of. Got it? So if you are 63, you've got 6 decades behind you, and I want you to think back and note down 6 things that you are proud of or happy about. What happened? Just a brief recap of the 5, 6 decades, 7, 8 decades of life that you have led. I got married in my 20s. I bought my first house in my 30s. My first car came along when I was 36. Whatever. If you think that a particular decade had more than 2, 3 important things, you can, because you may have got a house, a car, and children in the same decade. So put all of that down. That's fine. And I would be very happy to have you all share things. Unmute and answer or on the chat window. 40 seconds have gone by. We have another 20 to 30 seconds. Looking forward to responses in the chat window. I'll repeat the question for a few people who've just joined. We are listing down things from each decade of our lives, things that we are proud of or happy about. Okay. Okay, 1 minute. I think I've come to the bottom. Let me go a little bit up. Playing with friends. Wow. Passing out of school in the second decade. Getting my first job in the third decade. Fourth and fifth are still missing. Please go ahead and write those. In my 50s, all my 3 daughters got married and had grandchildren. Okay. Uh, Ma'am, I would really appreciate if you could write something from your 40s, 30s, 20s, and below that as well. Get married and see the first child in the third decade. Okay. Good company of siblings and cousins initially, then study, having good grades, getting a good job, and a very loving husband. I'm assuming we are going a decade up each time. 2 good children, all right. Happy in the job, now retired, but still happy teaching the underprivileged. Excellent. All right. Selected for state level tournament, appreciation by parents, getting good marks in high school examination, getting to think about purpose in life in the fourth decade. Excellent. All right. Great. So I would like to bring in a little bit of psychology here. I am sure you all have heard about Maslow's uh, need hierarchy, a pyramid. Nowadays, they are not believing in the pyramid as much. But earlier on, there used to be a pyramid of human needs given by a psychologist called Abraham Maslow. And the bottomest part of the pyramid consisted of physiological needs, food, clothing, shelter, etc. The second consisted of emotional needs, security, belongingness, love, etc. The third layer was social, okay, which was respect, being known to people, people should respect me, creating of that image and safeguarding the image, etc. And the peak used to be self actualization, which is what is my purpose in life, how am I contributing to the society, what am I doing in this lifetime, right? So basically what we see in our life is this. Initially we were children, we were mostly um, our lives were centered around the first few basic needs. As we grew up a little bit, we started socializing, and the emotional, as children we were all very emotional, right? Even in our teens we were very emotional. We may have taken some emotional decisions throughout life. So we moved from physiological to emotional, from emotional to social, and now from social we have reached the peak where we have had a good life. We have had all check boxes ticked. right? And now we are in a phase where we are looking at meaning. What is the meaning of my existence? How can I serve the society now? Some of us are teaching the underprivileged. So, why are we doing this? Because pro-social behavior. What is pro-social behavior? Things that we do for people who are less privileged than I am, which gives me a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction, right? So I do it for that feeling. People donate for that feel good factor. People help others for that feel good factor, which gives us a lot of self fulfillment. And that contributes a great deal to our inner peace. I would like to ask ma'am, I think Aruna ma'am has written that she's happy teaching the underprivileged. Will you be able to share with us an incident which makes you feel fulfilled and proud of the kind of work that you are doing? Basically, something that makes you feel fulfilled, that, I am doing something of consequence, right? And this feeling that you have now when you teach the underprivileged, you probably didn't have when you got good grades, correct? So our accomplishments are on one side, whereas doing something for people who are less privileged than I am, some contribution to the society, is a different feeling altogether. Would you like to throw some light on this, Aruna ma'am?
Teach my servants' children, and when they learn at least to write their own name,
Hmm.
either in Kannada or in English, I feel so happy. And I take them out and get them something to eat and get them clothes and all. They're very happy. That
And
makes
how does
me
that make you feel?
that makes me very happy. My children, they are studying on their own and they have come up very well and they are in good post. But for my servant's child, I am doing something that gives me a lot of satisfaction.
Correct, correct. And that definitely contributes a lot to your inner peace, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
We have another detailed list of things. I'll read it out for all of y'all. Happy-go-lucky joy-filled childhood, climbing trees, eating fruits straight from the plants and trees. I really envy this from your generation. We've never got this. Then busy study times, then got married and had 3 children before 30, then growing up and taking care of 2 sets of parents. Oh Lord. Then now busy with Vedanta study and taking care of my health, living for blessing children and the society, wishing well for others. Excellent. Here also we see a correct rise from physiological needs to emotional needs to social needs, and now we've reached a space where we've done quite a lot of things and we are still doing good, and that doing good unto others gives us a lot of inner peace. Now when I say this, I do not mean that for the rest of the years of your life you'll have not contributed to the society. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, now that we have done our responsibilities, we have a good chunk of time that we can spend with our partner. I saw a message someone has written, spending time with my wife. So earlier we had a lot of responsibilities. We had parents to take care of, we had children to take care of, there was so much going on, we had our own work. Now the two of us are relaxed. We are blessed that we have crossed this threshold and entered this phase of life along with our life partner. Many of us here may not be having that privilege, so there must be that gratitude also, which leads a lot to inner peace, that I am blessed where I am, right? I may not have a spouse, I may have a spouse, and my children may be doing well, my children may be far away from me. However, right now, I do have a lot of time for me, having fulfilled my responsibilities. I have time for me, my spouse, or the society, and the work that I really enjoy doing, something that gives me a lot of happiness and peace. All right. So that was our first activity, which tells us that through the decades of our life, we have been accomplishing things. We may not have looked at it as accomplishments, but they were nevertheless great accomplishments. In fact, entering your 60th decade is in itself an achievement these days. I don't know if our generation is going to see 60 because of the lifestyle changes and all other things that we've got to be going through. Um, all right. Another quick question. What are my top 5 accomplishments in my life until now? What are my top 5 accomplishments? Looking forward to responses. Can't see anything significant in terms of accomplishments. Please think back. Don't be so hard on yourself. I'm sure you've done lots of good things. Having a good degree, excellent. Fulfilling a good job, very good children, satisfied teaching, and happy but active life. Very good. I think parenting is the biggest accomplishment that you all have done in your life. Almost all of y'all have grown up children, giving them an education, giving them values, value based parenting techniques, giving them safe and secure environments. And I also believe, and when I say this, I really believe it, that most of us today live in nuclear families. But in those days, you all were so much more pressured, having to take care of your parents and your children. So, it's like in those days we listened to our parents, these days we are listening to our children. When is it that we live our life according to our wish, right? So I think having grown up, given birth, and having raised your kids to be wonderful human beings today is in itself a very big accomplishment. Don't you all think so?
Yes, we
Yes.
feel that we have contributed something to the society by
Excellent.
giving good children to the society.
Most definitely. Yes, yes. I'm sure you've touched lives on your way, helped someone, you've made friends, helped someone in certain, um, you know, in certain ways, in certain techniques, where people have. I'm sure you all have people whom you've not met for many years, but they still call you up and say, "Oh, Akka, I still think of you," and things like that. Yeah, we've all had people in our lives whom we've touched in some way or the other. When there was no one for me, you were there for me. At least one person is there in our lives who says this,
Yes, definitely.
isn't it? Yes.
Yes.
So, wouldn't you say that that is your accomplishment?
Yes,
Yeah.
if we have helped the underprivileged to get a degree and helping them in their education financially and
Wow.
bringing them to our house and teaching them whatever I can, all that has given me a lot of satisfaction in my
Correct.
life.
Yes. And I think it is an accomplishment also because, yeah, because,
Aruna ma'am is the retired principal of Maharani's College.
okay.
So she is well qualified. She has taught thousands of
I'm
children
sure. And she's touched
in
thousands of
college
lives.
and at home also to the underprivileged, and
was an excellent teacher.
chemistry professor and
Wow.
principal.
Okay. Okay. I'm suddenly scared of you, ma'am. Chemistry was
Oh,
one of
oh,
the worst
don't be,
subjects.
don't be. I have forgotten chemistry, don't worry. I'm only helping others to get their degree by financially or helping them in some of the subjects which I can
Yeah.
manage. That's all. I have
Right.
forgotten chemistry, so don't worry about chemistry part of it.
I have also sat in Aruna ma'am's class as a
Oh,
student
yes, I know Vani
for
was
a couple of months.
a student for few days, but her mother was a great teacher for me. She has
Right.
taught me so many values in life. So
Correct.
I'm always appreciating and happy with their family, entire family.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So there are more chat responses which I have read. I may not be contributing to each response because we are on a time ticker and there's so much more to do. All right. But there are a few more responses. Having worked as a teacher is an accomplishment. I'm sure you touched a lot of lives, ma'am. Living harmoniously in a joint family, excellent. I fully agree that it is a very major accomplishment. Bringing up my kids with values as good human beings, helping teaching in government schools. Um, got a gold medal in my 12th standard, I believe. Good degree, good, noble, affectionate children, being a very independent person. Yeah. All of these, I'm still in contact with my school and college friends in life is wonderful. Excellent. I'm so glad to hear this. Again, I think we are a little bit struggling to list out our 5 accomplishments. What do I consider my top 5 accomplishments? What are those top 5 things that I have done or achieved in life that have given me immense satisfaction? Okay, yes, a few responses are bang on. Teaching, raising children, looking at my children today and how well they are doing, it makes me proud. I constructed a house, or I took loan in those days and I could do it. Or I didn't have a very good degree, but when I entered professional life, I trained myself and I climbed up the ladder. I'm sure there are so many more things that you all have accomplished. I will again urge all of you to think of the top 5 accomplishments and put it down. Maybe 1 or 2 more responses. Being connecting person, okay. Helping some of my students who could not afford to pay fees, very good. All right. Promotions, doing well at office. Some awards, some tournament, somebody won state level, district level in those days. Helping my helper to go through surgery, okay. All right. Most of your accomplishments are so pro-social. I mean, it's all for someone else. None of us regard our degrees and our, it's so insightful to think about life in this way, right? None of us are saying my house is an accomplishment. None of us is saying my car is an accomplishment. None of us are saying that my degree is my accomplishment, right? Okay, I learned to drive 30 years ago. Okay, okay. Being listener to all my friends' problems, okay. Our area social problems to bring to the area MLA, excellent. So you see how all of us regard things that we do for others as our accomplishments. And why is it? Because those are the things that give us more satisfaction than our own personal achievements, right? If I ask you all, what have you all worked as, how many years you've served, what is your degree, I'm sure there will be a list of things. All of us are doing well, all of us have made houses, maybe more than one house, we bought cars, maybe more than one cars, we've done so much more in life, right? But that kind of prosperity or materialistic achievements don't make it to our accomplishments, okay. And I think it's a learning for me, because I should then be looking at life in that way, because now I know what people who are uh, ahead of me think of as achievements. So yeah, exactly. Yes. Contributing actively to interreligious understanding. Yes. Excellent. Okay. All right. Uh, Now we move from there to a little bit of assessing my situation. We've spoken about life till now. What have I done in those many decades? What do I think are my um, accomplishments? Let us now think of this. What are my top priorities at this stage of life? 3 top priorities at this stage of life. Wherever we all are, different in our age, different decades, in different ages, we've had different priorities. What are my top priorities now? To be happy at home and with neighbors, okay? Working on myself to grow as an individual. Peace, 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 okay? All right, I get it. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Health, learning Atmadhyana, to be peaceful, okay? Taking care of health, being focused on the goal of your life. All right. Being spiritual and do some meditation. Very good. Anything else? Contributing to the society, self growth, being healthy. Okay. All right. Now comes my second question. What am I doing now, currently, to achieve my goals? Other than, of course, joining Maniji's meditation circle, what am I doing now? How am I moving towards achieving these three priorities in my life? If I desire peace, what do I do for it? If I desire to be um, happy, if I desire to be happy with everybody around me, what do I need to do for that? Engaging in self inquiry and service. Okay. Studying meditation to be peaceful, listening to talks which are meaningful. Excellent. So basically, employing your, uh, investing your time and employing your mind space in things that are more meaningful to you all at this stage. Okay, which reminds me of the other story that I had told you all last time. Did I tell you the story of the rock, the sieve, and the pot? I think not.
I can't recall, Anagha. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm getting old.
No, I will put it. I didn't, because one was the kite story, one was the pond story, one was the story of the woman who loses everything, and I don't remember what the fourth story was. All right, but let me put it up again for you. So there was this sage and his disciple. Now, this sage was not a very popular teacher, okay, and a lot of parents would not agree with his way of teaching students. But his popularity was also equally high. So there was a very divided opinion between the people about this sage. Some kings would come by and there would be a lot of flashing and criticism and negative feedback that people would throw his way. He had a very eccentric way of dressing up. So when he walked the streets, a lot of people would shame him, laugh at him, and do other irritating stuff. But somehow his disciple found that the guru was always very calm. And therefore, the disciple approached the guru and said, "How is it that you are able to maintain this composure? Right? How is it that you're able to be happy? How is it that nobody can disturb, your state of mind here, your peace of mind here?" And so the guru said, "Okay, do something for me." He said, "Go to the stream that runs by our ashram, uh, carry, bring a rock, okay, a small stone that is there on the sides of the stream, okay? Bring some soil from the bank of the stream and then walk in. And when you are knee deep, bring some soil from the bed of the stream." So the disciple did that and he came back, and the guru examined the rock. It had moss and it had mud that had dried on it, and it didn't look clean. So the guru said to the disciple, "Will you please wash this for me?" And the son, the boy, he poured water over the rock and wiped it clean and gave it to the guru. Next, he said, okay, this gravel, it has a lot of this soil which you brought from the bank has a lot of gravel in it. So bring a sieve and sieve everything. So he sieved it, and the larger pieces remained up while the finer soil escaped. And then he said, this other soil that you brought from the bed of the stream, put it in a bowl and pour some water in it. And when he poured some water in it, the water just went inside. So the disciple was very confused. He said, what are you trying to tell me? I've not understood. And the guru said, see, when you get negative feedback, or you meet negative people, or you meet people who are not emotionally or spiritually there where you are, you behave like a rock. So even if they pour that water over you, it will all not penetrate, it will go away, and you can be clean again, right? So it's only on you and not inside you. It doesn't percolate within you. But you will also meet in life people who have something good in them, but not also something that is not so good in them. So in those cases, what I do is I become this sieve. So I allow all that is good to pass through and all that is not so good to remain outside of me. And when I meet people who are like me, emotionally, spiritually, wise, and like-minded, then I become like this soil and I absorb all the goodness from them, all the good things from them. What does this story have to do with what we are talking about right now? I think for us to be able to be happy and to allow everybody to be happy with others and with our neighbors and with people around us is to be able to understand that there will be people who will have different things in them. So we may have to change our approach and become a stone, become a sieve, and become the soil sometimes, so that we can make peace with the kind of people that exist around us. We must also accept people the way they are. The guru did not go and try to tell the people that, okay, you're not really very mature, you're spiritually not there, you have no right to talk to me like that. I am doing what I'm doing because of these things. He didn't justify, he didn't do anything. He just allowed the people to exist, to be the way they are, to accept things as they are. Okay, and that made the guru happy because he fully understood that there is nothing that I can do for them. It is their own journey. They have to make their own journey and reach that spiritual level and maturity level. And I cannot speed it up by doing anything. Okay, so it's like a conquest, a quest within. Those who seek it will find it, but those who are not what can I say, ready enough to seek it may not find it. But I must have peace. I must make peace with different people around me, given their different understandings, given their different maturities, given their different approaches to life. Okay? Yeah. So that is it with acceptance. What are we talking about? Just accepting everyone around as they are. Yes, exactly. So what are we talking about here? We are talking about acceptance. Initially, we spoke about accomplishments. Now we are talking about acceptance, accepting things as they are, accepting that I may have certain issues. There may be certain things that are not okay with me. My children may have told me, Mama, sometimes you're very rigid. Papa, you don't listen. Someone else may have told me sometimes. I may have my own flaws, and it's all right. No one is perfect. But to be able to accept my issues, my flaws, to be able to accept the situation at home, whatever it is, to be able to accept my children the way they are now. They used to need me, now they are independent. They may not need me. They may be busy, they may not be calling me as often. To be able to accept the feeling of missing that comes with it, to be able to not be, there's something called a spiritual bypassing. And what is spiritual bypassing? It is to basically say that whatever happens, happens for a reason. Everything that happens, happens for good. Yes, finally, this is what we believe. This is how we think about things to cope up with whatever adverse happens in our lives. But it is also important to accept and embrace the emotion that comes with it. So if my children are busy and they don't call me, I understand that they are busy and I don't expect them to call me. I don't taunt them for not spending time with me or calling me, but I accept the feeling of missing that comes with it. I accept the pinch that I feel that comes with it. Okay, which is a very big deal, and I'm sure it's not easy, especially when it comes to our children. I cannot do things easily as I could have done earlier because my body is growing. I have to keep pace with it. There are some things that come with age, so I have to ensure that I take restorative actions, conservative actions, so that I maintain um, delay anything adverse happening to my body and take care of it well, which all of this requires a lot of acceptance. Okay, self acceptance, acceptance of situations, acceptance of circumstances, acceptance of people around me. Okay. uh Now again there comes a story, and then you all can tell me what we are looking into. The story is called The House on Fire. So there was a very young boy, okay, who had very, very big dreams. All right. Something like our Dhirubhai Ambani. And he started off very small, worked extremely hard, overcame a lot of hardships, and built himself a beautiful home in his hometown. As he was growing and as he had big dreams, and uh, as he was very ambitious, people would sometimes make fun of him and say, "Oh, what is he even trying to do? Do you think you're going to be successful? You are so young, you don't have enough education." But he did not listen to anybody criticizing him or discouraging him, but focused on his goal and achieved it. Now, nevertheless, he was very, very fond of his house. Okay. And he lived in the house for a long time. Okay. Now, after 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, the building started deteriorating. He had children, the children had children, and a lot the family had grown. Everybody said, we should either renovate it or we should move away, we should bring it down, build another thing, structure up. But he would always say, no, I have invested my, I have, I have built this house with my sweat and blood, and I am not going to I can't see it being destroyed in front of me. Nobody can touch my house. And then, for a brief period of time, this man leaves the hometown and goes elsewhere. Now, as he comes back, he looks at the house and he's aghast. He's shocked because he sees his beloved home going up in flames. The house is on fire and he cannot understand anything. Tears start rolling down his eyes. He is looking here and there, looking for his family, and he finds his first son running to him. And the first son tells him, "Daddy, look what happened." And he said, "I can't believe it. Everything that I had, every ounce of blood and sweat, every cell in my body had worked to create this dream house, and look how it is going up in flames." So the first son very quietly tells the father that, "Daddy, when you were away, I got a very good offer. And that fellow offered 3 times the price for this house. So I could not wait for you to come back, and I sold this house." And suddenly, what does the old man feel? Now the pain or hurt is being replaced by anyone. I'm waiting.
Disappointment.
Disappointment. He says, "I've got 3 times the price." So the
Still,
old man
his
is
work.
Happy to let it go.
happy to let it go. He relieved. Oh God, thank God.
He's happy to let it go because when it was good, the son had sold the house and made the money. There was no loss. So the father is happy also.
Correct. When it was mine, I saw loss. You've sold it to someone else. Thank God. At least the house is not mine now. So the house is burning. The effort is still there. The history is still exists. But just because the house is not mine, I am not feeling as bad. Then the next son comes in and he says, but Papa, that man has paid only the token amount. Now that the house is burnt, I don't know whether he is going to pay the rest of the money or not. Now, what is the old man feeling? Now the house is still his. He does not know whether the ownership of the house has passed into someone else's hand or not. The house is still his, partially at least. Again, he starts feeling worried. Again, the tears start rolling. And then the third son comes in and he says, Daddy, I just spoke to that person, and that person said, I really need the land, and I don't worry. Anyways, the house was old. I would have had to spend to bring it down. Now that it has burnt, it will automatically come down, and I am still ready to buy it, and he's going to give us the rest of the money. And again, the old man is now feeling happy. So what happened? There was attachment. When there was attachment, there was pain. When there was detachment, there was relief. When there was attachment, again, there was pain. When there was detachment, there was relief. Do we all agree with this? Life is not so easy, not so simple. It's a lot more complicated. But do we
Yes.
agree with this attachment and detachment stuff?
Yes, definitely.
Right.
Happiness is momentary. Everything it too shall pass. This
Correct.
too shall pass.
Yes, excellent. Yes, good. All right. So, what are we talking about then over here? We're talking about what is known as attachment in detachment. Okay. Jayashri ma'am, have you raised your hand? Do you want to say something or ask something?
It was by mistake. It was by
Okay,
mistake.
no problem. I thought you wanted to contribute to other discussion. Thank you so much. So, what is attachment and detachment? We cannot be detached from the worldly affairs. We cannot be detached from our children. If our child, wherever he is across the globe, if they fall sick, we feel worry. And we will feel those emotions. We must, because emotions is what makes us human, right? Not that animals don't express or have emotions, they also do. However, emotions are an integral part of our existence, right? So I cannot detach myself from worldly affairs and abstain from everything, right? What I can do is practice attachment and detachment. Okay. And what is attachment and detachment? To be able to love from far away, to be able to love from a distance, not physical distance, but boundaries and space that you give to individual person. By respecting people's choices, by respecting their views and approaches and thinkings and thoughts and perceptions, by respecting their desires, their dreams, their ambitions, and not comparing, not juxtaposing everything against my desires, what I think is right, what I had desired, what I had dreamt. Okay. How do we do this? It is difficult, no? Attachment and detachment, because emotions are very complex and emotions have pervaded all areas of our life. It is not possible to do anything without feeling, right? What can we do? How can we practice attachment in detachment? There are 4 Ds, 4 Ds to practice attachment and detachment. One is do things that make them happy and not you happy. Okay. I'll give you a small example. When I go to my mother's place or my in-laws' place, they want to, you know, they want to do everything that they think I have missed in that span of time. So they will keep cooking. They would, my mother will make this and then that and then this, and all 4 meals, all 4 different things. How much will a person eat? And then if I'm not eating, she feels bad. So much I'm, do for you, but you don't eat. So what I told her is, I empathize with her. I understand what she goes through and I see the emotion behind it. But it is practically impossible for me to eat now the way I used to eat when I was young, right? I mean, as a teenager. So, somewhere, if, and I also feel guilty that she's having to do so much work. She would not allow me to help her also. So I tell her, do something that makes me happy. I feel very bad seeing that you're standing in the kitchen the entire time just to serve me and my children. And it's not something that I really appreciate. I'm not saying don't do it at all, but strike a balance. So do what makes, this is a very small example with very complex emotions inside it again. However, this is the best that I could think of at the moment. We must do what makes the other person happy and not always do things that make us happy, right? So doing something, even in my case, doing something for my children may be my need. I need to give them nutritious food. I need to cook this for them and I need to cook that for them. But what they probably expect from me is my time, because I'm a professional, I'm a working mother, I'm busy with my work. So when I come home, they will probably not remember the dal chawal that I gave them, but they will remember that mama used to spend her time with us. We used to play board games in the evening. She used to read stories to us or whatever. And I think that is more important because that is what they want. No, so it's not about my needs, it's about someone else's needs, right? To discriminate, again, this is what I'm saying, discriminate between their needs and your needs. What is it that I am doing because they will feel happy, or what is it that I am doing because I will feel happy, right? Even in this case where we teach or help children who are underprivileged, I agree that they get a lot, they receive a lot from us, which is, I think, a blessing. God has blessed us so that we can give to others. Okay, He has made us capable of giving to others, is in itself a blessing. So they do receive a lot. But what do I get from there? I get the fulfillment of my need. My children are settled. I have so much to give to the society. When I give it to the society, when I do this for the underprivileged, I feel happy. I feel fulfilled. So I do it for my needs, right? And if we can keep this in mind, that we should be able to discriminate between what are my needs, what are their needs, it will help us practice attachment and detachment. Okay, then deter. Deter from imposing what I feel is good for you, right? Many times we think we are, um, we are being helpful by telling people do this or do that or get this or get that or do it in this way and not that way. I think this will be better suited for you. So deter from those advice givings or imposing anything from on people. You may still recommend, you may still suggest. What the other person picks up is their choice. So be more accepting of people's choices and their space. And the last is very important one: delete unsaid expectations. Have expectations from people, call it out, say it out aloud, express it explicitly. Whatever is unsaid, delete it or say it. If there are any unsaid expectations that I have from anyone around me, they may not be able to understand what expectations I have from them. So I must either call it out, say it aloud, express it explicitly to them, or then just delete the unsaid expectations. Okay. So we've spoken about a lot of things, and these three things I think are integral to inner peace. One is accomplishment, two, acceptance, three, attachment and detachment. Okay. And last but not the least is, what is my ambition from now? What is my vision from now? Where do I see myself 5 years from now is my next question to you. And what are the 5 things that matter to me the most is the second question. So we'll spend some time on each question and discuss our responses. I shall repeat the first question. It is, where do I see myself 3 years from now? And when I say see, I don't mean physical alone. I also mean spiritual growth wise, inner peace wise. Where do I see myself? What is my ambition? I know my accomplishments. I have accepted things around me. I know what my priorities are. I'm doing something towards my priorities. I've also resolved to practice attachment and detachment as much as possible. Now, what is my vision? To take each day as it comes. Okay. 3 years from now, I see myself capable of taking each day as it comes. Is that right? Okay. Thank you. Anyone else?
If I am still living after 3 years, I would like to see my children and grandchildren happy and well settled in their life. All of them should be happy, even the entire
That is,
society.
that is your vision for them. What is your
Yes,
vision for yourself? What do you see you doing?
I want to have a stress free life and a healthy life without giving trouble to anyone. I should pass out of this world. That is
Okay.
my ambition. That is the only thing I always feel.
All right. So you would probably still be teaching, taking care of your health, ensuring that you have a proper routine, which will and diet, which will ensure that you are as healthy as possible until the very end. All right. The next question is, I should like to be peaceful. Okay. The next question is, what are the 5 things that matter to me the most now, today? 5 things that matter to me the most.
My health.
Okay. Health.
My
Health.
spouse. My spouse. To be living together with my spouse happily.
Okay. Health,
Yes.
spouse or family. Some of us here may not have spouses, which is destiny, but health, family,
Inner peace. Inner peace.
children and grandchildren, inner peace. Okay.
I'm not able to.
Helping others,
Non-judgmental.
To be non-judgmental. Okay. Pratibha ji was saying something.
helping others when they are in
Helping.
very bad condition.
Okay. Helping others, doing community service is something that matter to you the most. All right. Great. Okay. So if we roughly put down 3, 4 things that matter to all of us the most at present is family, health, some kind of community service, and to be able to have that inner peace. Now, these 3 things that we said will give us inner peace. If we are able to practice attachment and detachment in terms of our family, if we are able to accept things that come our way in terms of our health, physical, emotional, and mental well being, and if we are able to accomplish community service, then we will achieve our ambition of inner peace. Make sense? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Now, I would just want to show you all one slide. Okay. And that is, can I achieve inner peace? Can I accomplish community service? Can I accept what comes my way? Because I don't know what my tomorrow is going to do. Nobody knows what my tomorrow is going to look like. And to be able to practice attachment and detachment, do I have that kind of power? And that is where the I comes in. We know that inner peace is important. We all desire inner peace. Inner peace will come from all these 3 things. And mostly the things that matter to us at the moment are our health, family, and community service in some way, to be able to be useful to the society. Now, where does the power of I come in? Who is I? It is me. And I have the choice to choose inner peace. Right? All right. So this is a story about self-belief. Okay. It does not have anything to do with inner peace, but I'm still going to tell you this story. Most of y'all have recognized her. She's Martina Navratilova. She was once asked, how do you maintain your focus, physique, and sharp game even at the age of 43? So she gave a very humble reply, and this is what she said. The ball doesn't know how old I am. Okay? Now, this is self-belief. Remember, this has nothing to do with inner peace. We are now talking about self-belief because we will need self-belief to achieve inner peace. Okay? We need to stop ourselves from stopping ourselves. And I'm sure all of you all have done that. I mean, I am nobody to tell you this. You all are so much more richer in terms of experience. Okay, but every game in life is actually played on a 6-inch ground here, the space between your 2 ears, right? We live in our mind, which is an unlimited area. Okay, and it's important to pay attention to our internal dialogue. What am I telling myself? Because who am I? I am my thoughts, I am my emotions, and I am my actions. But more importantly, I am my beliefs. What do I believe in? Do I believe that I have accomplished a good life? Do I believe that I'm capable of accepting whatever comes my way? Do I believe that I can practice attachment and detachment, or is it too difficult for me? Am I capable of that kind of introspection that is required to get there? And then will I be able to fulfill my ambition of inner peace? And what is my belief? Right? So this belief is something that we all must have, ingrained in us. So for that, I just want to tell you all this, that there is a Latin, phrase that you all may have heard, which says, cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. Basically, I think what I am, and I am what I think. So the mind space here, this 6-inch ground that we spoke about, must be equipped with as much positivity as possible, which I'm sure we are all getting through these different mindfulness activities that you all are doing, including community service and the meditation circles that you all join every time, every month, I believe. Having said that, if I have this faith in myself and I am able to follow these 4 A's, accomplishment, acceptance, attachment and detachment, and ambition, I think inner peace is not far away. And the best part of it is, I stands for inner peace. So I have the choice and the control to achieve inner peace, so long as I'm able to develop that self-belief in me. Any questions? Any reflections? Thank you so much. I think I am done